Good evening, race fans. Welcome to tonight's main event, the FEG PC Truck Series here for the Watkins Glen Cup 25. As always, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm James East in the booth, bringing the action 1080p 60 frames a second as we get ready for our final round before the Truck Championship next week at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But tonight, it's all about the road course as drivers are going to have to navigate 25 laps here at Watkins Glen, guaranteed to be a good time. Open qualifying currently underway for all of our drivers out there tonight. You've got Matt Lee on top of provisional pole with a 1 minute 13.35 second lap time. Behind him, you've got Cale Seaman, Eric Parks, Jay Darger, and Stephen Page, our top five. It's going to be quite the show today because these guys normally go left more often than they go right. And it's going to be interesting to see what they can do out here today. Just a few weeks ago, on July 5th, we were at Road America for the Road America 25. Michael J. Johnson was able to bring home the win there. Matthew Lee got second, and Chad Ross got third. So it's going to be interesting to see what we see tonight, what's going to get shaken up. Matthew Lee, he's still our current points leader in the 04 machine. Michael J. Johnson is running second in points. Kenneth McCullough is in third. Eric Parks is in fourth. Chad Ross is in fifth. He's up 2 spots after last week's race. Last week we did find ourselves at New Hampshire. It was a great showing from all of our guys on a very, very tricky track. And let's see what the guys can put on for us here today around Watkins Glen. A very fun track to race around. The real-life NASCARs go to this road course as well, and we're going to watch Jay Dargert show us the quick way around. Number 57 machine, he's been fast all season long. He's currently 4th in open qualifying in that beautiful Marines Chevrolet. Now let's see what the Silverado, piloted by Jay Dargert, the fan favorite, can do for us here today. Dargert, he's just outside the top 5 in points right now. He's had an all-right season. 7 starts, 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s. His highest finish so far this season was a 3rd at the Charlotte Oval for our beginning of segment 2. So good to see him out there still charging hard. And let's see if the road course is going to help out his points chase at all as we get ready to go to Indianapolis next week. Always a great time with all of these competitors. They put on a fantastic show week in and week out. As Dargert letting it hang out just a little bit, the number 57 machine trying to put down a session best qualifying. Only less than 3.5 minutes to go in open qualifying. Then we're going to roll straight into the main feature. Dargert doing a great job getting around the racetrack. Now, who we don't see out here that's a little bit of a surprise, Michael J. Johnson. Doesn't appear he's put down a qualifying lap yet in the number 39 Toyota. We were kind of expecting to get out here in hot lap early on. Maybe try and put down a time so he can get up there and get himself in a better position. Johnson, again, he won that road course we had earlier this segment of the season. So statistically, that means he is an odds-on favorite to get out there and run for a podium, if not a win contention. So interesting to see why we have not seen the 39 take to the field yet. We've got 10 drivers that have put down qualifying laps, 3 that have not. Kenneth McCullough Jr., Michael J. Johnson, and Joe Burgess all unable to put times down. With 2 minutes left to go in the qualifying session, I'm not sure if we're going to see them go out there and make that happen, as none of those drivers are on track yet. Kelsey, he's running the number 17 Toyota Tundra out there today. A very, very clean race truck. Let's see if he can keep it clean all night long. Now, these guys early in the season, they were very, very clean at Road America. Despite it being a tough track, we saw a few single car incidents, but no major incidents involving the majority of the field. But there was quite a lot of incidents for some drivers. William Lothar, the favorite fast Canadian, he had 51 incident points that race. So that was a rough go for him. And then you've also got Jose Medina, who does not appear to be on track yet tonight. He was 12 incident points. So a couple of drivers may be thinking, you know what? We'll take the night off. We'll show up strong for Indianapolis. But less than a minute left in qualifying, as McCullough, Johnson, and Burgess have not put down times yet, have not left the pit stall. Hopefully we can see them start tonight. Jay Dargert, the fan favorite, number 57, he's moved up to second fastest in qualifying with a 1 minute and 14-second lap time. So well done to Dargert, getting out there and still charging hard, getting more and more comfortable as he gets seat time. Eric Park's going to pull on over. Let's see what Stephen Page is doing in the number 1 machine. Page's currently best lap so far in qualifying was a 1 minute and 15-second flat. Good enough for 5th place among these field of talented drivers. He may get one more here as he crosses the line. A 1 minute 14.89, so Page did get a little bit faster, but unable to move up a spot in qualifying. He's still riding behind Cale Seaman, the number 17 machine, who also did a 1:14.89. But let's get ready for tonight's main event, the Watkins Glen Cup 25 here at the FEG PC.net Truck Series. It's going to be an exciting one. All these guys trying to get some last-minute points before we go into Indianapolis. And, man, I don't know what's going to happen here, but I know it is going to be exciting. So, again, 10 drivers took to qualify and were able to put down lap times. 3 drivers did not. So, we're going to get these grid orders set in stone and then start fielding up our drivers. As always, we want to thank the guys over at FEGPC.net for putting this on. They're the leading provider for custom sim enthusiast desktops, be it Microsoft Flight Simulator, DCS, iRacing, BeamNG, you name it, any resource-intensive rig, and they can build it properly for you. So check them out, FEGPC.net. Custom desktop solutions with the sim racer in mind. They've also got wheels, button boxes, you name it, for a sim enthusiast. You can find it over at FEGPC.net. They run trucks every Monday and cup cars every Wednesday. We have the pleasure of covering both of those leagues, and always a good time. These competitors, a lot of fun on and off the track. You can hop in Discord with them, hang out, and they're always willing to help out new drivers or broadcasters with questions. So a lot of great guys over here, and always a pleasure to be calling their races. Let's take in tonight's grid. It's going to be Matthew Lee starting up front, Eric Park starting second, Jay Dargert, the fan favorite, will be starting third, Cale Seaman starting fourth. You've got Stephen Page starting fifth, Chad Ross sixth, Jeffrey Radke and the number 31 machine, he'll be starting seventh. Matthew Curry, the 54, he'll be starting 8th. Jose Medina is out there in the 24, starting 9th. James Kaufman starting 10th. Michael J. Johnson, 11th. Kenneth McCullough Jr., the Georgia favorite, he's starting 12th. And then you've got Joe Burgess and the number 19 machine. He'll be starting 13th to round out our field. But now it is time to kick off the Watkins Glen 25, guaranteed to be a good one here tonight. Up front, you got Matthew Lee, Eric Parks on that front row. There's a better shot of it. They'll follow that iRacing pace truck around for a full lap, and then we'll get this party started. Who's going to get through unscathed with a nice, clean truck? Who's going to be able to gain some valuable points, or who's going to have a stroke of bad luck and see their lead, the current points leader, slipping away? Matthew Lee's out front with 356 points. Behind him, you've got Michael J. Johnson with 348. So just those two along are able to put on a close show. Johnson knows he has to finish in front of Lee and do so decidedly. We've got pretty much everyone gridded up. We do not see Joe Burgess. There he is. He makes his way to the grid. So Johnson, McCullough, and Burgess, despite not putting down qualifying times, were able to get to the grid in time. Pace truck is out. It's time to get the party started here at Watkins Glen. Who's it going to be? Can Matthew Lee hold on to his current points lead, or will we see Michael J. Johnson in the number 39 Toyota make his way through traffic to make it 2 in a row for road courses and try and catch Matthew Lee in the points chase before Indianapolis? So on top of it being a road course with a lot of right-handers, it's also got the bus stop at the end of the straightaway here. And as you notice on screen, a whole lot of walls around the racetrack. Not a lot of runoff here at Watkins Glen. So if you have a moment and find yourself losing control of a truck, you can quickly find yourself with very bad damage on your race machines. Now this is where the action is going to be, in the bus stop. This is where you're going to see a lot of drivers lose control, as it'll be the very first hard right-hander after a very fast straightaway. Then they'll go around into the carousel, the sweeping right-hander. Almost cuts back all the way on itself. Then up a short straightaway for a left-hander. And then a final right-hander to bring you back out to the start-finish line straight. So it's the shorter configuration here at Watkins Glen. The same one the NASCAR guys use. But oh boy, it's going to be exciting when you get 13 trucks out there all battling for position. Pace car will come to the end of the short straightaway, duck into a right-hand corner for the pits, and then we will let these racers fly as the green flag comes out. Matthew Lee starting on the right side of your screen. Eric Park starting on the left side. They're going to get all the field lined up, and here we go at Watkins Glen. The green flag is out, and they are off. Matthew Lee gets a great start. Jay Dargert looks to the inside of Eric Parks. Not sure if we're going to see a move here early on for second place. Oh, and they touch. Ever so slightly. Dargert gets into the side of Eric Parks. Chad Ross has a big moment there towards the back. And Jay Dargert, the fan favorite, will take over second place behind Matthew Lee in the 04 machine. Behind Dargert, you've got Stephen Page, Eric Parks, Jeffrey Radke making up our top 5. And let's watch here. This is the first heavy right-hander. These guys are still on relatively cold tires. Can everyone get through clean? As we see, I believe that was James Kaufman go off track. Kaufman in the Kaufman Farms number machine keeps it off the wall in the gravel pit, so well done to him. Jose Medina also finds himself in a moment there. Oh, look at that! There goes the number 17 machine. Cale Seaman goes for a wild ride. Trucks scatter behind. Let's grab you the FEG PC replay of that one. So watch Seaman, the number 17 machine. Coming out of the carousel, seems like he gets just a little bit loose, and that number 17 starts wiggling all over that Toyota, searching for traction. It starts swapping back and forth, and man, that must have been an exciting few moments, and he is hard in the inside wall. That will allow James Kaufman and Jose Medina to make it their way around safely. Got racing here between Michael J. Johnson, Eric Park, Stephen Page running a 3-truck pack. Down the straightaway into the bus stop. Cale Seaman, he took an early return to pit lane to try and get his machine worked on and get back out there, salvage some points. All these guys running very, very clean so far. And still Matthew Lee out front. Jay Dargert second. Michael J. Johnson third. And then behind Johnson, you've got Parks, Page, Radke, and Curry all running very close together. It's going to be a game of who can make the least amount of incidents over the long run. A relatively short race for these guys, only 20 laps once the pace car was in. So I'm not sure if we're going to see any pit stops from these drivers that are going to be able to hang it out the entire time. As Michael J. Johnson trying to whittle away at the gap between himself and second place Jay Dargert as they dive into turn one. Get ready to take that right-hander up the hill. Matthew Lee, your current race leader, put down the fastest lap of the race so far, a 1 minute 15 second .38. Dargert just off his time with a 1 minute 15.4. Michael J. Johnson, though, his lap was blistering fast. Johnson put down a 1 minute 14.48. As a reminder, Johnson did not qualify in the number 39 machine, started off at the very tail end of the pack, and he's already worked his way up 8 positions into third place, and now he's eyeing Jay Dargert. Dargert wants that career best finish if he can get it. Again, his highest finish so far was the third place at the opening round of the segment at Charlotte. So if he can come out here and keep second place, he would be ecstatic. But the Dargert of number 57 machine would be also very happy to take home another podium here today. So let's see if Dargert and Johnson can race clean going into turn one. Dargert's in the red, number 57. Johnson in the bright blue, number 39 machine. It's Toyota first and third, Chevrolet in second. Now let's see if and when Johnson's going to try and make a move here. I don't think there's not a lot of great passing opportunities in these Gander Mountain trucks. And we had another incident on track. We'll grab you a quick replay. It's James Kaufman. Kaufman, number 25 machine. You see that the number 25 is already battle worn, gets a little bit loose and just bumps it off the inside wall. Up front, it's still Matthew Lee. Jay Dargert second, Michael J. Johnson third, but here they go side by side down the straight. Johnson will get the position. Dargert's playing it safe, doesn't want to battle Johnson too hard, too early on. Jeffrey Radke, he has a crash. We'll get you a replay of that one here in a moment. But now it's going to be Matthew Lee out front, Michael J. Johnson second, Jay Dargert third, Eric Parks fourth, and Stephen Page fifth. But let's get you that instant replay of Jeffrey Radke having his big moment. Having to go back to the pits early, number 51 machine. Looks like he just touched the grass ever so slightly. And oh, what a hard hit for the 51. Gets glued into the wall. Matthew Lee, your race leader, keeps getting faster and faster. He does a 1 minute 14.24. Michael J. Johnson also getting faster with a 1 minute 14.77. So Johnson getting faster and faster. He finds himself at a 1.75 second disadvantage to current race leader Matthew Lee. Jay Dargert doing a great job. Hold on to third. He's got to try and stay as consistent as he can. Dargert has about a 3.5 second advantage over fourth place Eric Parks. So if Dargert can just maintain where he's at, keep the same pace he has a great chance of bringing home another podium finish in the number 57 Chevrolet. And as the field stretches out, you're going to see less and less incidents from our drivers. But Michael J. Johnson does a 1 minute 13.83. But with a big old asterisk next to that, it was not counted as his best lap. He may have had an off track somewhere and trying to take advantage of these trackside limits, realizing, hey, the incident points are worth being able to squeeze up to Matthew Lee in the 04 machine, as that gap is now 1.5 seconds down the short straightaway into the bus stop. So Johnson able to gain almost a full second over Matthew Lee that last time by some creative lines. Using all of the track surface and then some. And man, you can really see just how much these drivers are trying to put down the power as the 39 machine steps out the back end. Trying to get a little bit better drive at the corners. That fine line between traction and spinning out. Let's cycle back just a little bit. Here's your battle for fourth place. Eric Parks, the number 8, the red, white, and blue painted Ford. He is leading Stephen Page in the number 1 Toyota. These two drivers find themselves about 2.5 seconds back from third place Jay Dargert. As Michael J. Johnson is still chasing down your race leader up front. $14 laps to go, a relatively short race for these drivers. But let me tell you, this is one of those tracks that really takes your full focus the entire time. If just one little lapse of judgment, and you can find yourself hitting one of many, many barriers here at Watkins Glen. Let's see, are we going to see Stephen Page, number 1 machine, try and make a move on Eric Parks? Or is he going to follow in line and maybe try and force a mistake out of the number 8 of Parks? Matthew Lee able to extend his gap by just a little bit more over second place Michael J. Johnson. Out of 13 cars that have started, we still have 11 drivers out there remaining. Cale Seaman and Jeffrey Radke both calling an early night. We're afraid too much damage on their Toyota Tundras. Man, these guys are putting on a great show. Parks in the number 8 machine, Page in the number 1. Both these guys running nose to tail lap after lap. It's 13 laps to go. They are almost to the halfway mark, and neither one of these drivers really yielding anything. They're both running identical times, mid 1 minute and 16 second times. And they're still about 3 seconds back from Jay Dargert. Dargert doing a great job in third today in the number 57 machine. Dargert seems to be very comfortable on road courses, but he's had several strokes of bad luck this year that have knocked him out of the points contention, at least for the top 3. So it's very, very great to see the number 57 out there charging hard and feeling at home here, as he's got his head down and just clicking off laps. Up front, you've got Matthew Lee still being chased by Michael J. Johnson. Johnson's a little bit less than a second back as they go through the carousel down the short backstretch into the left-hander. Johnson does have the draft here, so that's going to help him pull up to the 04 machine just a little bit. But he has to be very, very careful not to come into a corner faster than he expected. As Matthew Curry, he has an incident on the track that's going to allow Chad Ross and Kenneth McCullough Jr. to gain a couple spots. McCullough up to 6th, Ross up to 7th. And Matthew Lee, he is now finding himself only a half second ahead of Michael J. Johnson's bright blue number 39 machine. Johnson is up 9 positions so far. He really wants to make it 10 to take that race lead and possibly the win, making it his second road course win of this segment of this season. We've also got a lot of action going on back here. This is your battle for 7th on screen. 6th. Chad Ross is the number 38, the black and baby blue machine. Kim McCullough Jr. in the 03 Realtree sponsored race truck. And then Matthew Curry in the number 54. He's following behind McCullough as well. So good to see pretty much everyone on the track has somebody to race with except for poor Jay Dargert in the number 57. He's still kind of in no man's land in in third place behind second place Michael J. Johnson, and about 3 seconds ahead of fourth place Eric Parks. Kenneth McCall Jr. doing a great job trying to catch the drivers. And look at this, Matthew Lee and Michael J. Johnson both come into pit lane. They are still coming in a long pit lane. These guys are going to be very careful not to speed, especially on these road courses. They can find themselves coming in a little bit faster than they wanted to. And that's going to allow Jay Dargert and the number 57 to get some laps led. Behind him, Eric Parks, Stephen Page battling hard. Only 10 laps remaining here at Watkins Glen. How long can Dargert go on fuel and a set of tires before he's going to have to come in, as these are quite the long pit stops? Michael J. Johnson with a short stop, only 8 seconds in his box. He was out of the entire pit lane in 41 seconds. Matthew Lee, he stayed in for 4 fresh Goodyears and a full tank of gas. He's in and out in 15 seconds, so a 47 total pit lane time. So that'll put these drivers about a half lap down from their competitors. Now Dargert slowed down quite a bit. His best in the race was what's called a 1 minute and 15 second flat. His last time by was a little bit shy of a minute and 17, so he's about 2 seconds off his personal best pace. And he's going to stay out. It'll be 9 laps to go once Dargert crosses the line. You still have Eric Parks, Stephen Page battling for position, trying to make something happen here. They've been glued to each other since the start of the race. Parks started in second place, still holds on to it. Stephen Page, he's up 2 spots so far. And they're about 3.4 seconds back from the fan favorite, Jay Dargert, in his number 57 Chevrolet. Ooh, Parks gets dangerously close to that outside line. It just takes a little bit of grasp when you're under power to find yourself rapidly spinning around, as they're going to huck it into the bus stop here at Watkins Glen. You can see Jay Dargert just out of frame. He's going to take that just short jaunt into the right-hander of the carousel. 180-degree switchback, and then down another straight into a sharp left-hander. This is your battle for second on screen. Parks in the number 8 machine, Page in the number 1. 11 drivers still on track, 10 on your lead lap. And look at that behind you. You see Michael J. Johnson hanging it out. He came in for that short stop, so he's trying to get up there as quickly as he can. He's got a little bit of lap traffic, I think, to contend with. That might have been Kenneth McCall Jr. We saw Johnson getting around. Johnson, he's about 13 seconds back from race leader Jay Dargert. Dargert has not pitted yet. Dargert, number 57, going through the bus stop. He's still got a 3.4 second advantage over second place Eric Parks. And Dargert has been able to put slightly faster lap times down than the 08 machine of Parks or the number 1 machine of Page. But he is about 2 seconds a lap slower than Michael J. Johnson. So I don't know if he's going to have enough time to try and hold off if he goes for a no-stop strategy, or if we're going to see him come in later on and lose that major lead he has. We've got 8 laps to go. If Dargert can hold his same pace or maybe get a little bit faster, Michael J. Johnson should be catching him in 6 laps. So let's see what happens here, as Johnson was taking that right-hander at the top of your screen as Dargert goes into turn 1. Now Dargert does have the advantage that he has Eric Parks and Stephen Page acting as blockers behind him. But with 7 laps to go, is Dargert going to have enough fuel to make it all the way to the end to hold off Michael J. Johnson, the odds-on favorite to win here at the road course? But don't forget about Matthew Lee, who just put down the fastest lap of the race clean, a 1 minute 13.75. So his 4 fresh Goodyears really helping him out. Matthew Lee running all by himself in the 04 machine, just ahead of him on screen. That's Michael J. Johnson in the baby blue 39. Matthew Lee's about 2.3 seconds back from Michael J. Johnson, about 12 seconds back from your race leader, Jay Dargert. But we know Matthew Lee's going to try and let it all hang out in that beautiful 04 machine to catch up to his competitors. He wants to knock out that gap between Michael J. Johnson himself and the points championship before going to Indianapolis. But it'll be 6 laps to go as Dargert crosses the line. Will he have enough time to do it? It appears he has the pace. No, Dargert's going to come in for a pit stop here. So Dargert, the number 57, not able to make it all the way in. He's coming in for a late pit stop for 4 fresh Goodyears. Eric Parks in the number 8 machine has not come in yet. So Michael J. Johnson is going to take over 2nd place. Matthew Lee will take over 3rd. Jay Dargert, Stephen Page both came in together. Now Dargert's still in a good spot for a podium here. He has the opportunity to go back out and hope Eric Parks has to come in later in the run. But Eric Parks, he's going to get a lap led here at Watkins Glen unless Michael J. Johnson has anything to say about it. Johnson's about 3.3 seconds back and closing fast on the number 8 Ford. And behind Johnson, you've also got Matthew Lee. Now Dargert did take a short pit stop. He's only in his box for 7.7 seconds. So he went for just fuel or a 2-tire strategy. And it looks to me like Matthew Lee was the only one who took 4 tires. That may pay off for the 04 machine as he's still trying to chase down Michael J. Johnson. But Johnson, he's got traffic in front of him. That's Eric Parks, your race leader. 39 on screen. That's 2nd place Michael J. Johnson chasing down race leader Eric Parks in the red, white, and blue Ford. Parks is going to dive into pit lane for his stop. And that means Michael J. Johnson will regain the race lead, but Matthew Lee, he's coming fast, 1.5 seconds back. Jay Dargert will be taking over 3rd place from Eric Parks here. Only 5 laps to go here at Watkins Glen. Who's it going to be? Can Michael J. Johnson make it 2 in a row at the road course after not qualifying tonight? Or will Matthew Lee in the 04 machine have anything to say about it to get up there and contend with a 39? As man, these guys are so talented. You're going to see them just whip it into the bus stop, try and carry as much lean angle as they can and slide it on through. Johnson's last time by a 1 minute 14.61 compared to Matthew Lee's 1 minute 14.09. So Lee was a little bit faster, maybe because of his 4 fresh Goodyears he has on the 04 machine. But 5 laps to go. Just about a second separates these 2 competitors. Four laps to go. Michael J. Johnson, your race leader. Matthew Lee's whittled down that gap to less than a second as they dive into turn 1. It looks like Johnson's able to carry just a little bit more speed through turn 1, and that will allow him a better run down this straightaway. It is all about momentum in these trucks, especially on the long straights. You try and carry as much speed as you possibly can. Let's see what happens in the bus stop. We're going to start seeing Matthew Lee break a little bit deeper. Lee, his last time by, was about a half second faster than current race leader Michael J. Johnson. Jay Dargert still holding on to 3rd. He's got company about 4 seconds back in the way of Eric Parks and Stephen Page. But man, this is going to be a great battle here towards the end as Lee's going to do everything in his power to try and catch up to Michael J. Johnson. It'll be 3 laps to go at the line, and man, look at Johnson hanging out the back end of that 39 machine, using every amount of traction that Toyota Tundra can afford. It's Toyota in 1st and 2nd. Dargert, Toyota, and then Dargert in the Chevrolet running 3rd. And then Parks and the Ford F-150, he's running 4th tonight. So good diversity among all the manufacturers, everybody running up front. But right now it is a Toyota show in 1st and 2nd. Michael J. Johnson still leading Matt Lee. It's a half second separates the 2 drivers. Oh, Matthew Lee's going to try and do everything in his power to try and make something happen here. They're going to both head in the carousel in tow and then down the straightaway. Lee does have the advantage of being able to pick up Michael J. Johnson's draft on these shorter straightaways. They're coming up right now on James Kaufman and the number 25 machine. Two laps to go as they cross the line. James Kaufman comes into pit lane for his first pit stop of the night. And look at this. Here we go. Matthew Lee all over the rear bumper of the 39 machine trying to find a way around. I'm not sure when or where you'll see a pass happen here. Johnson's going to hold every inside line, and he's going to also hug the inside line down the straightaway, head to the bus stop. He's going to say, hey, if Matthew Lee wants to come around, he's got to do it the hard way on the outside line. I don't think you're going to see Lee use that bumper much here to road course. It's just too dangerous for everyone involved. As Matthew Lee, look how fast he is through, Johnson, look how fast he is through the bus stop. Lee has a bit of a wiggle, holds on to the 04 machine, but he gets bumped back to about a 0.6 second gap. White flag will be out this time. Bye. Matthew Lee is going to start driving even more aggressive, doing everything in his power to put down a little bit of extra horsepower to try and catch up to Michael J. Johnson. The white flag is out. When are we going to see a pass effort here? As here comes Matthew Lee trying to get to the inside. Oh, what happened there? Michael J. Johnson with a huge blink. Matthew Lee reappears inside the number 39 machine and is able to get the race lead. Let's try and get you a replay of that because that was one of the oddest things we've ever seen. So look here, Matthew Lee in the 04 machine, he's in second. He's given the bumper in the business to number 39, trying to get that truck just a little bit unsettled. And then watch, the number 39 machine goes invisible. Matthew Lee gets back on the gas. And then Michael J. Johnson will reappear inside of machine. I've never seen anything like it. Not sure what's going on here in the broadcast booth. The storms are hitting us hard here in Georgia. All right, I think we got everything back here. We're getting hit hard in Georgia, so we're going to take one more look at that pass for the lead. So Matthew Lee was all over the rear bumper of the number 39 machine, Michael J. Johnson. And then just like that, Johnson has a bit of a hiccup himself with internet issues. Matthew Lee is going to keep on driving. And the number 39 machine is just going to show up inside of him. A very, very odd crash. We're going to get you to the results page, and then we're going to get our podium speeches going on. Up first, we've got fan favorite Jay Dargett, the number 57 machine.
How are you, Mr. East?
Jay, always a pleasure to talk to you, man. Well done. I know you were feeling great at the road course, but man, you've got to be absolutely ecstatic with a third place finish here today.
Yeah, for those of us that wear tennis shoes and the occasional Python boot, I was the class of the field.
Yeah, I
For the
mean,
other two guys, for the other two guys, man, they had us covered big time, man. There was no keeping up with those guys.
well, you did great, man. You got your second podium of the season. You got fourth at Road America, so maybe we found your calling, and that's the right-hand turns because, man, you were on fire out there.
Yeah, thank you, sir. It was pretty good. I just had to maintain corner entry, especially in one, and then also maintain it through the I think they call it the horseshoe here or carousel, and just kind of maintain it through there, and then it was good to go.
Now, Jay, were you planning on such a late pit cycle in that event, or were you just going to try and run it to the light came on and see what happened?
Well, when I saw those two guys pit, I figured I'd stay out and at least lead a couple of laps because there was no catching them no matter what I did. Um, and then a couple of my teammates who were behind me, um, we talked about pitting, and Eric stayed out. Steven and I came in, and then after that, it was just about maintaining a gap and not overrunning the truck.
Well, you did great out there, Jay. How are you feeling going into Indianapolis next week for the segment championship?
Pretty good. I like Indy. It's a good fun track. You can run the corners good and hard. Uh, Again, their corner off is the place where you're going to make up all your speed and time. So I like it. I think I'll do well at Indy.
Well, always a great time talking to you, Jay. We're glad to see you on the podium again, and I hope to see you doing well at Indy. Before I let you sign off, who would you like to give a shout out to tonight?
Well, first of all, the United States Marine Corps, Semper Fi to all my Marine mates, and then my company, the painting company I have, Mastercraft Painting. We don't run them on the truck because we want to give full credit to all of our Marines. And then again for my wife who lets me sit back here and race and enjoy my buddies on a Monday night having a good time.
Well said, my friend. We hope to see you up in the podium booth more often.
Awesome, James. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, sir.
Thank you.
All right, now we've got Michael J. Johnson in the booth, the number 39 machine. Michael, what a very odd incident that final lap we all saw.
Yeah, sounds like from what I was told that the truck blinked out there, which sucks, but it's part of it.
Yes, sir. We saw it on our page as well. Now, don't get me wrong; it looked like the bump and run was coming, but from our point of view, you were the magic man. 1 second, you guys were there and linked up nose to tail, and then you were gone for a second, and then Matthew Lee was kind of inside your truck when you came back. Was it pretty damaged after you were able to get it back, or was it just more frustrating than anything?
No, the truck was definitely hurt. Which the big problem was when I took my pit stop, it for whatever reason it didn't give me tires. Had them checked, so I was out there on old tires and knew it was going to be hard to hold him off.
And I guess, Michael, another question for you was the no qualifying a strategy, or was it what happened there that you had to charge through the entire field to gain 9 positions for second place?
No, that was all in my qualifying lap. I buried it down into turn one a little too deep and spun out. Then I knew there was someone behind me, so I lit the tires up trying to get out of his way, and it DQ'd me.
Well, I hate to see it, Michael. I know that was a heartbreaking night for you tonight, but still, man, second place, great job. I think you're still going to hold on to the points lead going into Indianapolis next week. How are you feeling for that final shootout for segment 2 of the Truck Series?
Feel good about it. I believe we're at Indianapolis, which be honest, I don't think I've ever drove the truck there, so we'll see how it goes.
Awesome, man. Well, looking forward to seeing you again. Always a great time having you up here. You are an absolute animal on everything road courses. Before we let you sign off, who would you like to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors? The floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, all the guys that keeping it real esports and Circle B Diecast and Plan B sales.
Well, awesome, Michael. I hate to see you not be able to finish in the top spot. You did a great job out there, and hope to see you do well next week as well, my friend.
Thank you, sir. And then congrats to Matt on that win.
Well, that was second place, Michael J. Johnson. Now you've got the man of the hour, Matt Lee in the 04 machine. Matt, what an exciting race from start to finish that was.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. A lot of good racing there with Michael towards the end of it.
Now, so I guess you saw the same thing on our screen. It looked like the old bump and run was coming, but the next thing you know, Johnson's truck just kind of disappeared for a second. Is that what you saw on your end as well?
Yeah, that's absolutely what I saw. I mean, like I was telling him, yeah, I was going to give him a little bump going into one. It was about my only chance to get around him because he was still getting around the rest of the track pretty well, especially if he backed up his entries a little bit and screwed up my braking zone. So it was really my only chance to get a decent, safe bump on him where it wasn't going to wreck the both of us, which is, I didn't want to take him out of a race. And he blinked real quick, and next thing I know, he's inside of my truck, and gotta love the iRacing crap.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some, especially when the internet gods come into play. Now, Matt, you were the only guy that I saw take 4 tires and fuel. Was that part of the strategy, or just were you thinking the fresh rubber was going to be well worth it?
Yeah, I was talking with Garrett Maines from the Coke Series before this race, and he said if you're gonna pit, you might as well take tires. It was I think that was Michael's plan as well, but iRacing messed him up and didn't put the tires on. I don't know if he had them unchecked or whatever going into the pit stop. So when I seen him come out real quick, and I thought I definitely had a good leg up on him.
Well, you did a great job out there, as always, Matt. I believe you extended the points lead just a smidgen, so you should still be in the lead going into Indianapolis. How are you feeling at that kind of odd-shaped, you don't even want to call it an oval, it's more of a square when you're out there racing it?
Yeah, it races a lot like Pocono, I feel like, which is another a good strong track for me. I've always had really good runs at Indianapolis. Really sad to see it go away on the NASCAR schedule, to be honest. But uh, Michael's always tough everywhere, so you never know what you're going to get with him.
Well, looking forward to a great showing from all you guys. It's always a lot of fun to watch, and everybody's always so great on and off the track. Matt, before I let you sign off and pop that virtual champagne, who would you like to thank tonight for getting you up here in the top spot?
Yeah, I really got to thank Martin Sports, McConey Sup Shop, CGE, GTR Simulators, Shenandoah Shine, you for the great broadcast, Jeff for putting this on, and all the guys in the league for the great racing.
Well, always a great time, Matt. I hope to see you do well at Indianapolis. Always a pleasure having you up here in the booth.
Appreciate it.
And that is going to do us here at the FEG PC Truck Series for the Watkins Glen Cup 25. Matthew Lee bringing it home on the top spot after a little bit of bad luck from Michael J. Johnson with a huge internet blink. And then, as always, a major shout out to fan favorite Jay Dargert, able to get up here on the podium for the second time this season in segment 2. On behalf of FEGPC.net and Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm James East, always wishing you guys a great and safe evening, and we'll see you at the next one as these guys go for the season championship of segment 2 at Indianapolis. Have a great night, everyone.